had a good life way out in the fields with our shepherd and laddie and the daffodils. Life was just one big fun game as the golden days passed, each one just the same. It all began with my mother's yarn. As we made our way to the big old barn, she would say, "Little lambs, you are on a great mission, for one of you will be chosen to save a whole nation. You're not just any old goats or silly old rams. You're pure and spotless, chosen lambs. Perhaps you will be called to be the destined one. That means you, Sammy, or you, Spot, or even you, my son." It wasn't my mum's fault. She wasn't telling a lie. It's just that she didn't know that a lamb had to die. All she knew is what she had been told, that a lamb would lie on an altar of gold. This would happen only once a year, a pure, clean lamb behind the veil where God was near. And in that holy, mysterious place stood the priest with fearful face. Upon the lamb the nation depended, and God's grace and mercy would then be rendered. Quite understand all this, but to be a hero my thoughts could not dismiss. So when that time of the year came around, up before the shepherd I immediately bound, showing myself as a handsome beast. Before I knew it, I was with the high priest. There I was in the great temple court. Suddenly I realized I had been wrongly taught. The air was thick with sweet-smelling incense, but the pain in my heart was more than intense. Something awful was going to take place. I didn't want to save the whole human race. As I looked about, I was aware I would die. If I could take wings like an eagle, I'd fly. Deep in the temple I could see a thick veil. Within that place my blood would be left to prevail, for beyond that veil, so dark and majestic, was the presence of God, so holy and mystic. And then the priest raised his sharp-pointed dagger. I felt my heart beat, tremble and stagger. But at that same moment the veil was torn in two, something no human hands could possibly do. It was something so strange, and my thoughts are all blurred. I can't remember the following events that occurred. The next thing I knew, I was in my field so green, with all my kin who knew where I'd been. I looked out at the hills far beyond, the familiar view for which I was so fond. Something had changed and rearranged, for in the distance there was a cross on the hill. A man was hanging there, his body so still. Something told me deep down inside that the man on the cross who had just died had taken my place on the golden altar, and he instead had gone to the slaughter.